Hi, my name is Alister Shirazi, and I am the iPhone surgeon. Whether you dropped your device in a pitcher of beer or threw it at the wall, the iPhone surgeon can fix it all. I repair iPhone, iPods, and iPads, and I'm the only service of my kind here in Humboldt County. My business model is very simple. You break your iPhone, and I'll fix your iPhone. I'll come to your home, your office, or meet you in a public place. You can drop your phone off while you run errands, or I'll repair it for you on the spot. Whatever's most convenient for you. People ask me why I decided to specialize in Apple products, and the answer comes in two parts. Firstly, Apple has done all the work for me as a repairman. They've put these devices in the hands of millions and millions of Americans. They've made them extremely easy to break and extremely difficult to repair. Therefore, those that have the ability to repair these devices enjoy high barriers to entry and enjoy extremely high demand. The second reason, specializing in Apple products effectively pegs my growth rate to the growth rate of one of the highest, fastest growing companies in the world right now. I've built a recession-proof company in that during times of economic prosperity, more of these devices are in the market and more are breaking. During times of economic slowdown, customers would rather repair these devices than purchase new ones. Let's take a look at some of the options the customer has when they break their device. They can buy a new phone. Without a contract, these phones cost $700. They could use insurance, provided a customer's been paying $10 per month. They can pay a $150 deductible and have a phone shipped to them within 3 days. Apple offers an out-of-warranty exchange service where they'll replace your device for a $230 fee regardless of the issue, even if it only would have cost me $40 to repair it. Mail-away repairs. This is the most affordable option for customers that don't have a local option available. But the downside is it can take a few days to get the phone back to you. So let's take a look at the basic business 101 graph of how the competition stacks up. You got buying a new iPhone. It's very convenient but not very affordable. Apple, but the nearest Apple is 4.5 hours away. You can use insurance if you had insurance and want to pay $200 and want to wait a couple days to have it in the mail. Purchase a mail-away repair service, the most affordable option if you have no other option available to you. However, it can take a few days, so it's not very convenient. I looked at this landscape, and what I wanted to do was to create something that leapfrogs away from the competition, provide a real service for the people of Humboldt County. And what I created was the iPhone surgeon, a locally based company that repairs these devices. My mission as a company is to repair your device as conveniently as possible so that you can get back to the more important things in life, because you have more important things to worry about than a broken phone. I stand behind my repairs with a 90-day warranty, and I encourage my customers to come back if they have any problems with my repair. On top of the convenience that I've added, I've been able to match the lowest price option that a customer has and provide the added convenience of repairing their device on the spot. I want to take a second here to talk about myself. I left the interview the other day not feeling like you guys had a very accurate depiction of who I am as an individual, so I want to do that now. I'm a 24-year-old Humboldt State University student, majoring in economics with a minor in business. I'm a highly motivated, hardworking individual that feels that I can accomplish anything that I put my mind to. On top of being a full-time student and a proud business owner, I'm a member of the Army National Guard, where I'm currently enrolled in officer candidate school. Within 16 months, I'll be one of 25 candidates that will graduate as a second lieutenant in the Army National Guard in all of California. Now, in the National Guard, I learned a lot about hard work, I learned a lot about discipline, and I learned a lot about making decisions. Particularly, when I make decisions, you make enough decisions, you're bound to make a few mistakes. And what I've learned is that when you make mistakes, what's important is that you learn from those mistakes. You figure out what you did wrong, and you grow as an individual. I've applied those lessons to my real life, and I learn from my mistakes. And I know that when I make mistakes, I learn to figure out what I did wrong, and I make sure I don't do those again. And that's all I wanted to say about that. I have the opportunity to create something, not just take my bite out of the Humboldt County pie, but to make the Humboldt County pie just that much bigger so that everybody can have a larger bite. I'm talking about job creation. I'm talking about bringing commerce into Humboldt County from all over the country. I'm going to do that by tapping into the local market, national market. I want to build a website. I want to build a website where customers can mail in their device from all over the country. I'll be the most competitively priced on the internet, and I'll have the phone returned to them within 72 hours, guaranteed. I'm going to do this through 2 phases of expansion. The first phase is called Prepare for Takeoff, because this is all about laying the infrastructure for success and market saturation at the local level. I want to lay the infrastructure so my business is prepared to handle 6-figure revenue streams before we get to that point. And judges, with your help, we will get to that point. Secondly, I want to continue to pump the local market full of advertising so that customers and iPhone owners that know my name before they break their device. I want to be in the forethought of their minds. The second phase is all about retail and product extension. Particularly, the relationship that having a retail store will allow me to extend the products and services that I'm able to offer. A retail store will allow my presence in the community to be a very strong one. Customers will have the ability to come into my shop, sit down on the couch, play at the Wi-Fi station while I fix their phone in the back. They know that if they have a problem with my repairs, they know exactly where to find me. I'm right there. There's no hiding. And having that presence in the community is priceless. Also, being able to have a retail store will allow me to open my sources of income to retail sales, such as cell phone accessories. Now, Mr. Hamilton, you mentioned that you were kind of concerned about the prices that I was charging for the screen protectors. I want you to know that the $7 price mark that I had chosen is extremely competitive. This is a product of similar quality for $14.99 shown at Target. This is just the nature of these products. They're extremely high, have extremely high markup. And I look forward to taking advantage of that. Here's some other examples of the cases and the products I'll be able to offer in my retail store. And I want you guys to note that selling a case, a $30 or $40 case to somebody who just spent over $100 fixing the broken phone is a pretty easy sale. I'm talking about job creation. I'm talking about making the Humboldt County pie a little bit bigger. I'm talking about providing a service, a valuable service to this community that does not exist here. I'm talking about tapping into the national market and bringing commerce into Humboldt County from all over the country. For iPhone, iPod, and iPad repairs, not just in Humboldt County, but now, with your help, all over the country, the doctor is in. Thank you. You guys don't have any questions, do you?
Alister, congratulations on getting as far as you've gotten. Congratulations on a great presentation as well.
Thank you, Mr. Masati.
The first question I have for you, is the name iPhone not copyrighted, and how can you legally use that name?
Great question. And the solution lies into the need for capital to be able to find that question out. I don't have $200, $300 to spend on a lawyer right now. But that's part of the laying infrastructure, to make sure and find out whether I can use the name iPhone Surgeon. That's the best answer I have for you now.
Just a tip, you can probably do some groundwork yourself just through the internet without spending that money on an attorney.
Yes, I've done that, and I want to just be 100% sure before I take this a little bit bigger. As far as I know, I can use the word iPhone Surgeon, but I want to be sure. So I want to be able to have that outside consultant before I take this a little bit larger.
What work have you done?
What do you mean?
Well, you said that you have done some work yourself. What work have you done?
The research, when looking for basically just Googling other company names that use Apple products names, or other large corporation names. For example, Simply Macintosh Store in the Plaza. They use the word Macintosh, which is a copyrighted name, and I wanted to know if I'd be able to as well, and I haven't found a conclusive answer yet.
So have you also done work on the internet? If so, what work have you done?
I'm just Googling and looking at other companies' names and seeing if they copyrighted their names as well.
Thank you.
Alister, I appreciate your passion. So in listening to your presentation, it sounds like one of your main competitive advantages is that you've got this instant feedback with the customer. And so my question to you is, as you're gaining business, you're going to get busier and busier, and at some point you're going to hit this point where you're not able to do that anymore, and now people will have to wait 2 or 3 days, and you won't have that advantage anymore. How do you plan to deal with that? And,
beautiful question.
Yeah,
Thank you. the point I wanted to make is that I want to be able to step back from this business and not have to repair these devices all the time. I want to be able to work on the business and not for the business. So what that means is creating that infrastructure that I spoke about earlier, being able to have the employees and the administrative properties in place so that we can handle the high revenue, the high levels of business. And that's what I plan to do as soon as I receive the money.
Okay, thank you.
As you grow, a significant component of your business is going to be the mail order part. And you have a price point at 125, as I think we saw up there. The question, I guess, is, are you going to be competitive out in the marketplace with that price point, considering the costs of transporting the devices back and forth and mail costs and so forth? Does your price include shipping and handling, those kind of questions?
Yes, it does. So here's the way that I plan on having this work. First of all, the $125 price point was got from the nation's leader in iPhone repairs right now. This is for iPhone 4S cracked screen repair, $125. What I plan to do is to match their price and to match their, the way they do business, essentially follow a business model that's already successful. They have the ability to have the customer print out a shipping label online, and that gets billed to my account. I want to draw your attention again to the profit margins that I spoke about in my business plan, and there's plenty of room for some things like a shipping handling cost. So that shouldn't be an issue at all.
Can I ask a follow-up question on that?
Please.
Obviously, being located in Eureka provides some disadvantage from a shipping cost standpoint relative to being located in the middle of the country if you're getting and hoping to get business from the East Coast. Combine that with the relatively higher costs in wages that occur in California and the higher insurance costs that exist in California. Can you discuss how you can still make your dream come true given that disadvantage relative to other folks that are just located in, say, South Dakota?
Absolutely. So again, I want to talk about the high levels of the profit margin. Okay, the difference between what I'm paying for the parts and the service that I add and the final product is high enough to where I can knock off a good amount in expenses and still be able to turn a profit. We're talking about supply and demand, lowering the price and increasing the quantity, and that's how I plan to be able to continue to succeed.
But won't other competitors located elsewhere continue to have a competitive advantage and be able to undercut you?
Competitive advantage, possibly. Undercut me? I don't think so. The fact is that I'll still be getting my share of the pie.
Thank you.
Let me just follow up on that. Not the cost so much, but the turnaround. I've shipped a lot of things in and out of Humboldt County, and believe me, it can take 3 days to get from Eureka to Arcata sometimes. Right.
So I've dealt with that as well, especially with the USPS. And what I've learned is that FedEx is very, very effective. Right now I deal with a distributor in Kansas, and I ship something at 1 o'clock my time, it's 3 o'clock their time. They have it on my front door before noon, and that's a fact. So as long as I use UPS, the shipping cost on that, depending on the weight, is in between $9 to $20, depending on the size of the order that I'm placing. So I'm looking at about $5 to $10 shipping charge per round trip. About $10 round trip overnight.
Alister, one of the things that you had talked about was you would like to more focus on other elements of the business and hire folks to actually handle the repair side of it. You had mentioned in your business plan, though, it takes years to be proficient in repairs. So how do you anticipate hiring these folks and getting them up to speed so that they can handle all of the repairs while you're out, doing other things?
Well, it's a slow process. It's taken me a couple of years to get to where I am today as far as the proficiency for my repairs. And so I just need to make sure I find a capable individual, somebody that's as passionate as I am, and somebody that I can trust to not leap with the skills that I've taught them. And there's no perfect answer to that. The only thing I can say is that I have to use my judgment as time goes along and be able to find somebody that's passionate and capable.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have an exit plan for this company?
Absolutely. So what I want to do, obviously, is continue the retail store. If things hit the fan and it turns out that I can't handle the overhead, what I'll do is firstly just get rid of the store. That might mean taking a small loss initially, But I'll be able to continue the mail-away repair services and continue to work on the local market out of my home as I was before I opened the store. And that, there's extremely low overhead. All I'm talking about is the price of the parts, which you can stock up for a few $100s and make thousands of dollars worth of sales. Limiting my overhead is my answer to your question.
Alister, in this process of preparing your business plan and getting ready for the economic field competition, could you talk about something you've learned that might help you run your business in the future?
The biggest thing I've learned from this competition is the actual mechanics of being able to handle writing the business plan, being a full-time student, running a business, and being a member of the Army National Guard. What that's told me, the fact that I can handle all those things have given me a level of confidence that I never had before. It's been an extremely rough semester, and I put myself through a lot of stress, a lot of hard work. And the fact that I was able to handle that and get to this point makes me feel so proud of myself. And I'm really just happy to be here. And that level of confidence I've gained from this will do a lot for me in the future.
So I know iPhones are big, but what about Androids?
Great question. So I would like to eventually get to other devices. Firstly, the fact is I wanted to specialize and not spread myself too thin. I wanted to keep it simple. I would like to be able to work on other devices. I simply do not have the time. I get tons of calls for them on a regular basis. Once I have the ability to step back and not work for the business, but work on the business, I'll be able to learn more repairs and grow from there.
Thank you.
So it's in my plans.
By the color of my questions, you can likely tell that I think the mail order business might be a much riskier proposition for you. Given that that's still one of the directions that you're hoping to pursue, and given that you said you may, depending on how the business goes, shut down the retail side, tell me about your marketing through the internet, either pay-per-clicks, SEO optimization. What are you looking to do to attract business through the internet?
So firstly, I'm hearing that you are skeptical about the online business.
Well, you heard my question. So
I heard your question.
And I heard your answer.
Okay.
So leaving that aside, please focus on the question as to how you're marketing your business on the internet.
Got it. I think you kind of hit it. Search engine optimization is key. Being able to type in meta tags. Using social networking has been huge. Using Craigslist, using other online classified ads. And really just, I'm going to defer this to an expert, really.
Have you budgeted for that?
Absolutely. This comes straight out of my advertising budget. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the online advertisements is very pricey because there are tons of people all across the country competing for the same share of the pie. And initially, it's going to take hard to penetrate the market. And so that is going to be a big part of the advertising budget that I budgeted for the website. If you look at my business plan.
How much did you budget over the course of year one?
$2,800 for the initial part, and then up to $500 on a monthly basis for the online marketing.
That's a relatively small amount if you're looking to reach a national audience.
Right.
Thank you.
So I'm going to revisit the exit strategy question because I'm not sure whether you answered it in the way I think the question was intended. The way I heard you answer it was if you can't make it, then you'll do this and this. Really, the intent of the question is 5 years from now, you've got a thriving business and you decide you want to move into some other field or do something else bigger. What do you do with the business? Do you shut it down? Do you sell it? Do you run it from a distance? How do you get out of it at some point?
Well,
or you do this for the rest of your life?
Under the circumstances that you presented, if I decided to go do something else 5 years down the line, the most logical thing for me to do would be continue to accept some kind of revenue stream while I'm able to work on something else. So I will invite somebody, some kind of operating manager in, and take a step back even further than I have, and be able to, if what you're saying is I want to do something else at the time, then I'll be able to do that. If I have an operating manager, to be able to take care of everything, and I can sit back.
Okay, thank you.
Based on I think this is an appropriate question based on, we kind of jumped around a little bit, but we'll try to. Based on California law, are you required to charge sales tax, or you're required to charge sales tax on parts, obviously. Are you required also to charge sales tax on services? Do you happen to know what the sales tax is for Arcata?
So I'm not required to actually charge sales tax on the parts because I pay sales tax when I buy them. I'm not paying wholesale price. I'm paying retail price, technically, because I'm paying tax on the parts that I buy. When a customer purchases a service from me, that is not taxable, but, and really I don't have to pay any tax because the tax has already been paid when I purchase the parts from my distributor.
I'm going to follow up on that. Do you know that for a fact? Did you consult with an accountant on that, or is
no,
that
that's
just your guess?
That's not a guess. That's from the Arcata the people down there in the little where the occupied people hang out. What's that place called?
City Hall.
The City Hall. Thank you, Mr. Rubin. Thank you, Mr. Rubin. Yes, or the occupied. Yes. So I spoke to the lady at the window at the City Hall, and she told me that as long as the sales tax is being paid, then that's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, the key there is the Franchise Tax Board, not City Hall. So I would check with them.
Thank you.
Revisiting the question about the iPhone and in regards to if you can legally use that name. So if you consult and get a legal opinion that you're not able to use it, what would be involved in rebranding your business?
Thank you. So a couple of the things I have in mind are taking the iPhone out of it. I mean, after all, I don't just fix iPhones. I fix iPods and iPads as well. And soon, I hope to not only fix Apple products, but other products as well. So I have some options like the smartphone surgeon, the gadget geek, a couple of things like that. And I haven't decided on a name yet. It really depends on where I want to go with the company. I'm really waiting to see for the results of economic fuel before I decide where I want to take this company.
Tell me about your relationship with Simply Mac and why won't they ultimately compete with you?
Simply Macintosh has been an amazing partner with me. I walked in there the first day I came to Arcata, and I introduced myself to the lady at the counter. Her name was Daniela. And I asked her if they fixed iPhones. She said no. But she wished there was somebody because her iPhone was broken herself. And they really had no intention on fixing these devices. They're fully at capacity of how much they can handle by themselves. They refer to me about 30% of the business that I get right now. They don't want to deal with it. They're already full. They have a very successful business running computer repairs. And these devices are not something that they're looking to do right now.
But I mean, if they see you making tons of money, aren't they going to rethink that?
Well, Simeon, the owner, is continuing to, after 9 months of being in Arcata, they're continuing to refer me customers on a regular basis. And he hasn't mentioned anything about, I mean, they've known that there's been a demand in the market for a long time. They get requests on a daily basis. It's not like when I came in, the requests start. I went to them because the requests go to them initially. So they know how many people are inquiring about these repairs. They're not blind to this. They just don't have the capacity or the capability to handle it right now. And I've been able to fill that niche.
Just suppose that somebody 5 years ago had started the same business based on the BlackBerry. Doesn't that bother you at all?
Could you elaborate?
Well, the iPhone is so specific.
Mm-hmm.
And market share in this industry can change overnight. The whole thing could be obsolete. So I just wonder if you shouldn't be a little more broad in your service. I'm aware of the chart.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. So yes, there's something to be said about hedging the downside and diversifying. Absolutely. And again, that is in my plans. I plan to branch out from Apple products and be able to try to repair other devices as well. So absolutely. And one of the main things about this business is being able to keep up with the trends in the market. New devices are coming out on a regular basis. And being able to be connected to that industry will allow me to grow as the industry grows. So I'll change my business to meet the needs of what's going on in the industry.
I like the potential that you could do business over the web and attract money into Humboldt County. I think that's probably the most attractive thing about your potential business model. But I agree with my colleague here that that means you have to be leaner and meaner and probably focus more on volume business. And that means being able to train employees and grow. And I'm not convinced that that's where your mindset is yet. Can you convince me of that?
You're not convinced that I'm willing to cut the prices and to become more...
When you talk about training people, you're talking about, well, I think I can find a person and train them. But when you start doing mail order business around the country, you're going to get, hopefully, volumes in. And that means you need more than one person that can do this. You need persons, plural, and you need a shop that they can operate in, and you need a stock inventory. And that, you know, that's the kind of business that you're going to start getting into if you do national business. And I haven't heard those words from you yet.
Okay. So, again, my interests and the interests of the growing business are aligned. The better the business does, the better I do. And so, as need arises for extra employees, those extra employees will be hired. They will be trained proficiently. I wouldn't think twice about hiring extra employees to be able to meet the need and handle the demand.
Staying on that same line of thought, you mentioned, and it's obviously evident how passionate you are about your business from your presentation, but you mentioned you want to find someone who's equally passionate about the business. You also mentioned that the barriers to entry are relatively high, but once you've trained someone who's equally passionate to do what you do, what's going to stop them from going out and opening up a competitive business?
My brand name. My brand name is going to help erect those additional barriers to entry, not only around the industry, but around my company. When I have, when I say the word to you, fast food, one of a couple fast food restaurants comes to mind. And I want to have that same effect in Humboldt County and even across the nation when somebody breaks their iPhone. And so having a brand name that customers can trust and rely on will protect my business. And there is nothing to stop somebody from, after I teach them, going on to do their own thing. And all I can do is to encourage the customers to continue to want my services and products.
Thank you.
Brand is important, I agree. I'm not sure how much that will help you in that scenario that you just put out there. Perhaps what might be even more effective is having your employees feel like they're better off staying with you than they are going out on their own.
Absolutely.
And that leads to my question, which is, do you know of, are there courses or training that you can send people to get trained up in these different devices?
Not that I know of.
And certified in it? Because I think that would be an important avenue for you to explore. So that way you could just send them off to this course, get them trained up. They come back. You might even learn something from it as well.
Well, in reality, I'd say the more lucrative option is to be able to be the one that trains those people.
There you go. Maybe you open the training school.
And there is no training school that exists. And that's one of the reasons why the barriers to entry are so high.
In your presentation, which was very articulate, very well done, but one of the things that caught my ear was instant repair, ready to do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
How, when you establish expectations for your customers by saying instant repair, is that real?
Thank you. So I've created an environment where I've done hundreds of these repairs. A customer can literally break their phone, give me a call, drive to the location that we meet up. I can have their phone repaired to them in one piece, looking like brand new, within an hour of when they drop their phone. If that's instant enough for you.
You can now, but if you're a business, can you?
Absolutely. I'm going to continue to make sure that my business strives on the expediency, because this is really an impulse thing. A lot of times the screen breaks don't actually affect the functionality of the phone. It's a panic. They call me in a panic, and I fix their phone as quickly as possible, and that's the way I'm able to catch the largest portion of the market. Thank you very much.